Hello, everyone. This is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, this Saturday, I'm probably going to be listing live and chatting with people, probably 11:30 Central Time to maybe for a couple hours, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Actually, I think yeah, it's Tuesday. Sorry, I have some stuff I have to do tomorrow as well on Wednesday. But yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So the first thing right here is gonna be these like Geo-Force full thrust sci-fi miniature game spaceships right here. This one's like the alien Phaelons frigates right there. 3 different little metal miniatures with their bases. This one's going to be more of the Phaelons, some scouts right here, and then these are going to be more of the scouts. So I had a bunch of different random ones of these. Someone got these for $25.92 plus shipping. I'm not too sure what this particular game is. It looks a little bit more like, not janky, but like it has like this little insert right here, and the art's not as crisp, and it's by Ground Zero Games here, so I'm not too sure how this game plays, but $25.92. I got a bunch of that stuff like a long time ago and been slowly selling them. All right, next up is going to be this 7 empty packages for Arkham Horror, the living card game. These are going to be like the little expansions. These are the clamshells. That's like what this type of packaging is. So someone just maybe wants to complete their game. Maybe someone had a collection, and then like when you open these up, you get a whole new scenario. You usually get more cards to add to the investigators. It's a really good game, and Ed and I have played it. There's too many expansions, so we haven't played all of it. This game's been out for a while. It's a very good one where you pick your like different investigators. You get to build your deck, and then you're going against like different locations. There's like mind games and stuff you have to go through. You'll do all these different checks. There's monsters to defeat or run away from. There's a bunch of story that you're reading in the scenario guidebook. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Every scenario and campaign is different. So these are just a bunch of empty packages right here. So $15 for this. If these were complete, depending on, some of these are more rare than other ones, they would go for a lot more. So yeah, $15 for a bunch of packaging. I knew someone would have picked that up. I was like, I don't really like to throw away stuff, but I know that's something someone else would throw away. That only took like a week to sell, so it's not like I stored it for a while. All right, next up is Wellington versus Manessa right here. Am I saying that right? Manessa. This is going to be one of those board games. This is just one of those like little sheets right here. So like a singular sheet. Actually, this might be for, maybe it's for a PC game. I'm not too sure what this one is. No, this is from a Wargamer magazine. So yeah, this can be for one of the war games. So just a single sheet, $3 for this. It was kind of like one of those things I listed. I had in my hand. I'm like, I think I put it for $6.99 and took a $3 offer. I was like, someone's gonna want to complete like their game, but it's just like one little sheet. All right, moving along, we have Flying Fortress, the Boeing B-17, one of these military books. I talk about all the time. We do pretty well with the military books. I like the specific ones about like a specific plane or a jet or a tank or a submarine or a war or a historical figure. So $9.59. This even has some like slight rips and wear in the front, but like overall it's still readable and good quality for that. All right, next up is Dilbert right here. Plushie. I don't really like plushies too much. It's kind of like one of the categories I deal with it when I buy stuff in bulk and I get some. Usually I get like the nerdy ones. I think this is a comic book character. I actually don't know too much about the Dilbert. I just know what he looks like and his name. So embarrassingly, I don't know too much about him. I know people probably like him. So $12.95. It's a pretty good quality plushie. It's very clean and has his little like glasses right there. So people do pick up plushies. All right, moving along, we have 3 of these sci-fi. They almost look like they're metal miniature bits and pieces. They are going to be, they look like pauldrons for some kind of wargaming miniature. I couldn't identify what game this went to, but I knew someone would eventually pick, either know what the game it went to, know what figure it went to, or they're just going to want to customize some kind of miniature project that they're working on. People do a bunch of miniature projects where they put pieces together and then they make a miniature like that way. Or sometimes people will put metal, or sorry, not metal, just any miniature bits on the base and then paint it up so it looks like, you know, a figure will be like crushing something. So it kind of makes it your miniature pop when you do basing like that. So there's a lot of different uses for bits and pieces. This sold for $12.95. All right, moving along, we have the Art Students Anatomy book right here. So I'm not going to go through this book, but yeah, it has a bunch of different, it has everything about like bone structure and body structure and stuff. So for art students, just to like figure out everything, $7.99 right here. But yeah, I'm not going to show that one. It's not all like bad to show. I just don't want to accidentally show anything like that. All right, next up is going to be Shadows of Brimstone, Forbidden Fortress art book. Shadows of Brimstone. I haven't played this board game. It's a board game where it's co-op. It's kind of like a fantasy slash Wild Wild West slash kind of like Eldritch theme where you're fighting, you're going through like different dungeons with your heroes. It's co-op. You're going to equip them with like, you know, like a whip, like from Indiana Jones, or maybe some kind of like little pistol that you're going to be using. So it's like that kind of style. It's just a game. I've played Gloomhaven, a similar fantasy game. This is like an older one, this board game, Shadows of Brimstone. So yeah, it's a game that's been recommended to me. They're these big box games, and they look like a lot of fun. I've always been recommended it. I do want to eventually. I think they're expensive. There's like a bunch of different big box expansions, but also the expansions are individual core games. Sometimes it's weird where board games will be both an expansion, or you could just play it as like a full core game. So they're full-fledged campaign games. This is just an art book. Really cool that these companies will do things like this. People like to collect everything, even if it's not going to upgrade their game. It's just something that they read on the side and appreciate. All right, moving along, we have this 6 of these, 1995, 1996. This is going to be Beats magazine. Annetta grabbed a bunch of these, like probably like 3 or 4 years ago. So I lotted them up by like the year. It's gonna be more of like a reggae, African, Caribbean, musical type of magazine. So when Annetta grabbed these, I think no one had any of these on eBay. So I know we sold like some of the lots for like 40 or 50. This lot only sold for $24. I think she paid 80 cents or a dollar per magazine. So there's 6 of them. We like to sell the unique magazines, the catalogs, the ephemera. It's a really cool category that I learned to appreciate, where when I was first into eBay, that was not something I would ever want to mess with. So I like selling that kind of stuff now. So $24 for that one. I think I mentioned it. All right, moving along. I listed this during our live the previous Saturday. So a couple days ago. This is Dungeons and Dragons. This is a German edition. I forgot what D&D edition this is, but this is one of those little preview booklets that comes in one of those starter sets. So it shows a bunch of spells and stuff. This is all in German, which is super cool. I like to get the foreign stuff because people still pick it up and collect it. How's it going, Mindy? How's it going? You never come up here. If you sit right there, it looks really cute because then it looks like you're just sitting like us. All right, $14.07. I got another one of these, so I went ahead and relisted the other one. I had to take a couple new pictures because of there's like slight difference in the wear near the top of the page. It's not a big deal, but I want people to get like their accurate item that they're purchasing. Moving along, we have Elder Sign, Gates of Arkham. This is going to be a board game expansion. The Elder Sign, this is also by Fantasy Flight. It's in the Arkham Horror realm, so it's kind of similar to the Arkham Horror Living Card game. They have a bunch of different board games within this realm by Fantasy Flight Games, like the older company. It's still around, but these are some of the older things. So Elder Sign, I forgot what the difference between the Arkham Horror board game and the Elder Sign board game. I think Elder Sign was supposed to play in a faster time frame as a board game, if that makes sense. So if Arkham Horror, the board game, took 2 to 3 hours, Elder Sign was meant to be faster board game. A lot of the expansions can be expensive. This is heavily incomplete, so it just has the box and a lot of stuff's missing in there. Still sold this for $10. If that was complete, it'd probably be worth a lot more. All right, moving along, we have this. These are going to be 1 out of 32 scaled toy soldiers. Did a video about going through all of them or a bunch of them. Right here, these are going to be, I think, British line infantry, and the other ones are going to be French line infantry. So these are things that people like to paint up and they like to collect them, and then they'll make little dioramas and little stories about them. So $47.98. This was a combo order for the lot of 2. And then the last thing was some Mech Warrior. These are going to be a bunch of broken bits and pieces I had. This was a weird lot that I sold because someone kept messaging me. They thought that one of the helicopters that they wanted was not broken. So I thought it was broken. Everything else looks pretty broken, bits and pieces. I know people can glue this stuff. This is a game by WizKids. You pick a faction, you build up your little tanks, and then you have your infantry, and there are like other expansions that added like helicopters and stuff like that. So you also get big mechs. That's why it's called Mech Warrior. But yeah, they ended up wanting a bunch of pictures of a single helicopter in here, so I took a bunch of pictures. Actually, I was a couple days late, so I was kind of embarrassed. Sometimes I'll like tell someone, hey, I'll do it tomorrow. I got the message on Saturday, so then I was like going to do it on Monday. And then I ended up doing it early today. And then they were like, oh, yeah, that helicopter looks like it's not broken. So they ended up buying everything. So $14.95, but they just wanted one of the helicopters that I thought was broken. And I took the pictures and they said I wasn't. So I definitely usually like answer most questions unless if they're a little bit ridiculous. I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but that was one that I was definitely going to handle. But if someone's like asking the way too many questions where it just seems like it's going to go nowhere, I usually just like ignore those types of messages. And if they're really aggressive in their messages, Annette and I will just block them and move on. All right. Well, that was a good question because they were asking about the accuracy of my listing, which is if the miniature was broken or not. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to help support us. Take a look at our links down below. Join me on Saturday. Have a good one.